single swoosh, bright against a dark background. It pulses like a heartbeat across stadium screens and billboards worldwide. But behind that simple curve lies a truth most never see. What is the secret Nike doesn't want you to know? Nike, Inc. is a global giant encompassing shoes, clothes, endorsements, and tech, reaching billions of people every year. Its logo, the swoosh, is one of the most recognized symbols on Earth. But beneath the brand's shine, questions about labor, ethics, power, and control whisper in the shadows. This story matters now, in an era when we demand accountability from the brands that impact our lives. In 1964, Bill Bowerman and Phil Knight co-founded Blue Ribbon Sports, which initially sold shoes out of the back of a car. Vintage sneakers on grass. By 1971, the Nike name and its iconic swoosh were born. Simple, fluid, and instantly recognizable. Lower third. Nike, founded 1971. Throughout the 1980s and 1990s, Nike grew rapidly, signing stars, expanding factories around the world, and becoming the symbol of performance apparel. Visual, montage of Michael Jordan, sneakers, factories. However, in the early 1990s, reports emerged. Workers in Asian factories faced low wages, harsh conditions, and long hours, and there were allegations of child labor. Visual, archival photos of factories. In 1991, activist Jeff Bollinger published a shocking exposé on conditions in Nike's Indonesian factories. Source: Historical Labor Reports. Between 1998 and 2005, Nike pledged reforms, audited its factories, and began publicly reporting the names of its suppliers. Visual, corporate reports opening. In recent years, 2020 to 2024, new issues have emerged. Wage theft, unpaid leave during the pandemic, and discrepancies between Nike's claims and worker testimonies. Source: Business of Fashion, ProPublica, FLA Investigations. A 2025 study by ProPublica analyzed payroll records from a Cambodian factory supplying Nike. It found that only 1% of workers earned the high wages Nike claimed, even after bonuses. Source: ProPublica, April 2025. Nike's own 2005 report acknowledged abuses such as forced overtime, limited water access, and denied days off in many factories. Source: Yale Global, April 2005. Activists in the 1990s documented Nike-connected Indonesian factories paying training wages far below legal standards. Source: Nike Chronology, CEI. In 2024, a Fair Labor Association audit uncovered significant wage theft at a Thai supplier during the pandemic. It recommended that Nike compensate workers with $140,000. Source: Business of Fashion, DEC 2024. Nike also faced a legal challenge in Casey v. Nike, 2002, where the California Supreme Court ruled that Nike's public statements defending their practices could be considered commercial speech and thus challenged under consumer protection laws. Source: Casey v. Nike Summary. Nike maintains it has improved, enforcing a supplier code of conduct, auditing factories, and publishing supplier lists. Critics argue many abuses persist, hidden in parts of the supply chain that Nike's audits don't fully cover. Some defend Nike's role. Without scale, many small producers would never gain access to global markets. Others say that the scale was used to squeeze costs at human expense. We do not know how many factories remain unreported or how often audits truly catch violations before damage is done. At factories in Cambodia, Vietnam, and Indonesia, workers tell stories of fatigue, fainting, and verbal abuse. Some say they must do forced overtime just to survive. Source: ProPublica, Historical Labor Reports. Many are women, supporting families, with little ability to resist. The demands of production, quotas, and cost pressures push daily life to its limits. Yet some workers report slight improvements over time. New lighting, safer machines, occasional raises. But the promise of dignity and fairness remains uneven, fragile. Think of Nike's supply chain as a vast spider web. Many strands, many hidden nodes. The swoosh sits at the center, but the tension is everywhere. Nike's power is not just design or marketing. It's in choosing which factories make what and who gets to see inside. It became more than a shoe company. It's part of the infrastructure of global labor. This secret matters because when a brand this big is less transparent than it seems, it shapes the world's standards. Who works, who profits, who suffers. Nike's Swoosh hides a network of factories, policies, and secrets. Over decades, abuses were exposed. Sweatshops, wage theft, broken promises. What the public sees is only part of the story. Now, the future hinges on what Nike chooses to reveal next. High confidence. Nike strengthens independent auditing, ties executive pay to labor outcomes, and rapidly discloses more of its supply chain. Medium confidence. Legal and public pressure force partial reforms, compensation to harmed workers, but many factories remain opaque. Low confidence. Nike resists deeper change, while competitors or brands with stronger transparency gain consumer trust, slowly eroding Nike's dominance. The swoosh is more than a logo. It is a symbol with hidden layers. Its story is still unfolding, and we all carry a part in demanding truth. If you want to see how another brand wrestles with image, power, and responsibility, watch The Hidden Truth of Apple's Supply Chain next. This script is built from verified reports, audits, journalism, public filings, and expert commentary. But the full story remains alive and evolving.